I was extremely nervous coming back to school. I graduated high school in '96, and so here I am 20 years later going to college.
Service.
My name is Xavier Lanier. I served 15 years in the United States Air Force. Got out in 2016.
Why did you decide to go to college?
I got 15 years of experience on the job, but I didn't have the formal education to slide into a management position. So school provides me that paperwork, that documentation to match up with my work experience to get me in that management position.
What's some advice that you would give to a new vet coming in and taking English 090 online?
You have to be proactive. You can't sit around and wait till the last minute to do stuff. You have to be proactive. So if you got 7 days to get it done, I mean, you don't have to do it all at one time. You can do it piece by piece. If you find yourself getting frustrated, hey, close the laptop, take a break, go for a walk, clear your mind, and then attack it again the next day. But stay on top of your assignments always.
Never let failure overcome you. You know, you can always succeed at anything that you put your mind to. You know, you're in the battlefield of life now, and you gotta fight for the things that you want, because they're not just gonna be handed to you. My name is Seth Glass. I was in the Coast Guard for 6 years. Started off doing law enforcement in Washington, D.C. Actually, we did presidential security.
When you first returned to school, can you tell us how you felt? What was it like?
It was pretty nerve-wracking at first. Like, I kind of pictured how it was when I went to college the first time, and I was like, wow. I was like, man, there's gonna be some really long classes, some really long lectures, but you know, after doing some online campus classes and, you know, doing some online as well, it's actually been really nice. Things are a little more laid back here, which I like. At the same time, you know, they do expect you, you know, to excel and, you know, do well for yourself. And that's one thing that I appreciate, you know, is that, you know, there's always somebody here to help.
So what about some specific suggestions on taking a course in college writing?
Definitely pay attention, you know, ask questions. You know, Strader's got plenty of tutoring opportunities that you can do, a lot of programs that they implement online, you know, to help you, especially with APA format. The biggest thing I would say is just, you know, just study and use your resources.
Contact your teacher as much as possible. Like, your teacher's going to be there to help you. Take full advantage of that. I'm Janae Hogan. I spent 4 years active duty, 4 years reserves. I'm actually thinking about getting into the Army Reserves now. I was in the Marine Corps.
So you've had online classes. How did you figure out how to do them and adjust to them?
At first, they were pretty hard. I've learned to harass my teachers. If I have a question, I stay in someone's email. They're very friendly with giving you their phone numbers and ways that they can be reached, and they respond to you very quickly.
How do you reach out for help?
Emails, text messaging. Well, last semester, my teacher actually spent like 2 hours on the phone with me, just walking me through a computer problem I had.
What are some of the things that you find that you've had to do as someone who's learning how to improve your writing?
Rewrite, 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 rewrite. I think the paper that we're writing this semester, I've rewritten like 10 times almost.
Things that you have found about that helps you write better?
As crazy as it sounds, reading my paper aloud to myself, I didn't think that that was a real big deal at first. I could catch myself, oh, that doesn't sound right. It looked right when I wrote it, but it didn't sound right when I actually said it out loud.
You know, they're probably going to be a little nervous at first, but, you know, once they start actually putting the pen to the paper and just letting their ideas formulate, and I mean, it's just all about confidence in yourself. My name is Tyron Reese. Did 20 years in the military. I was a supply sergeant, retired as a staff sergeant.
What was it like when you first started back at college?
When I first started, I was a little nervous. Didn't know what really to expect, especially with doing some online courses. The ground courses, you know, I'm kind of used to that high school, you know, but the online courses I was a little nervous about because I know I can be a bit of a procrastinator, so I kind of got to stay up, you know, ahead of the power curve. So,
what were some of the items that you found in the beginning that were really difficult?
I felt like Blackboard was a little difficult for me because just trying to maneuver, I wasn't used to an interface like that, so Blackboard was a little confusing for me. But once I got in there, and I was in there for a couple weeks, I got the hang of it, and I was moving right along.
So what about writing? The writing classes that you've had to take and the writing that you've had to do, how was it different from the military, and what advice can you give about learning to write here at Strayer?
The difference about being in the military and, you know, the things I did that I had to use writing for in the military, such as counseling, you know, they tell you how to do a counseling, but they don't really give you the background about writing. So it was a little bit more difficult writing counseling statements, so I kind of had to wing it. But as I took the classes, it made me realize that I could have learned a lot more, and I could have probably done a lot better writing my counseling statements when I was in the military. So, you know, the English classes has really gave me a lot of fulfillment or a lot of guidance on how to write. I've come a long way when it comes to writing, because I promise you I didn't think I was ever going to be a good writer.
Every classroom has a leader. That leader is someone that people look up to. Being a leader, you know, doing leadership skills, you know, taking care of what you have to take care of, being on time, doing things that you're supposed to be doing. Being a leader is helping and taking care of other people.
So how did it feel like to come back to college and you haven't been a college student for 30 years?
Intimidating. Very intimidating. You know, when you think of college, you always think of, you know, students that come right out of high school. You know, maybe a couple of years after they, you know, find themselves and decide that they're not making it in the employment field, you know, they decide they want to go ahead on and continue with college. And I felt that, you know, after retiring out of the military after 30 years, and then decided to come to college, it's kind of intimidating.
So did you actually take English 090? Do you remember that class at all? How it felt? What was it like?
My professor that I had, he's pretty nice. And I actually took it online. So when I took that course online, it kind of made it a little easier, you know, because you can ask questions. You can ask questions to the professor, you can ask questions to the students. Made it a little easier to be at home in a more comfortable atmosphere. Sometimes the classroom it's more intimidating than being at home sitting on your couch. You know, you just have to look at it in a different light.
How did you overcome your fear or inability to write?
Right. Yes, that's what you have to do. You have to get in there and you have to write. Read different articles, read different, you know, papers to see how, you know, things are written. Not plagiarizing or anything like that, but coming up with your own ideas. What's going to catch your reader's attention? And you have to go out there and you have to actually, you know, write these things and think about them and, you know, dream about them actually, to try to figure out exactly what you want to, you know, put down on your paper.
It was very challenging, feeling uncomfortable, not knowing if you were going to make it, people questioning what interest that you have now to want a college degree after you're already retired from a career. So those were some of the challenges that I went up against, but I just stand and stay focused to make my achievement. I'm Herbert E. Hazley, Jr. I served in the Army and the Navy. When I was in the Army, I was stationed with the 18th Airborne Corps at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, as a signal specialist. I served 2 years in the Army, active, 3 reserves, and I did 3 years in the Navy.
First started at Strayer, what were some of the challenges for you?
Math and computer, because I was not too abreast in the operation of computer because of the age difference, but I had to learn quickly, and I'm very comfortable sitting in front of the computer now, so I'm able to do my work, and all the obstacles behind me now.
So what are some of the things that you had to deal with in terms of getting used to managing your time or learning how to figure out and do your assignments?
I spent a lot of times in the library and just staying focused and don't give up. Like for instance, I was taking math. I mentioned math was one of my challenges. My professor told me to be successful in ALEKS, you have to eat, sleep, ALEKS. So it was, I knew that I had to put X amount of time per week to achieve what I wanted to.
Let the school broaden your horizons. And I think that's the best thing that you can do is go into school, learn to meet the people there, because you can learn a lot from the students as far as their background and their things that they've done in life, because a lot of them haven't been in the military, so they have a different background than you do. And I think you can learn a lot, but just really open your mind up to the school. My name's Roger Austin. I was a 20-year veteran of the Navy. Joined in '84 and retired in 2005 as a E6 Petty Officer First Class, mostly aviation.
What was it like when you first started?
With Strayer, it was actually very easy, with them being the yellow ribbon school for VA, where they accept the post 9/11 VA benefits that the veterans have. The front office staff made it very easy. It was almost so easy I was like, they're missing something. Something's not going to go through, but it did, and everything went fine.
So how was it coming back and having to delve back into writing, or did you do a lot of writing in the military?
I did some writing in the military, and it's a different style of writing, so it was a little difficult at first to learn a different writing style as far as what you need to write in the civilian world. So it was a little different, a little hard at first to kind of open up that way of writing to a new style.
And what about some of the things like your time management and learning how to study and all those type of things? How did you figure out how to be successful with that?
It's difficult not to procrastinate. It really is. It can be, you know, I can always do it tomorrow. And you've always got the weekend, or you've always got, you know, a rainy day coming this week. You can sit down and do your work. And it's just you just have to really make yourself sit down and really focus on that this is your #1 priority is your schoolwork, and go for it.